give us your elevator pitch on a player at 35, at least that you think is, as much as we can predict the draft, that is likely to be in that range and you think makes sense for the Sixers.
I'll give you a couple players, but like the thing I will say about 35 is it's like right on the edge of where we start getting into the drop off for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think that there will be players available at number 35 that will probably be worth a guaranteed deal. If I was them, I would be looking at Elijah Martin, Sion James. Sorry, I always do that for some reason. Sion James. I would like hope beyond hope that somehow Ryan Kalkbrenner got to 35 because that is like the perfect.
We've talked about
center
him a
for
lot.
this team.
We're fans of his for sure.
I would move up for Ryan Kalkbrenner if I was Philadelphia. Like I would be trying to do what I could to get him. I mean, like, look, like Adu Tiero could get there in theory. Ben Suraf could get there. I don't. I mean, maybe Max Raynaud, but like, I don't think he gets there at the end of the day. Um, Seems like Drake Powell's probably a little bit higher than this right now too. I mean, Tyrese Proctor, another Duke guy, can really shoot the ball. Very skinny, but like competitive on defense. Janai Broom, I'm sure, is another guy that's been brought up just as like a backup center for you guys.
Yeah.
Janai's fine. Yannick Niederhauser would be another guy, just like pure rim runner, but I'm not a huge Niederhauser fan. Yeah, like honestly, my favorite, like last year, people, that follow my show will know, like I've like an obsession with Cam Spencer. Like I think Cam Spencer is one of my like favorite basketball players because he's just like my kind of like competitive. I mean this positively. Like he's just like a competitive psychopath. I think we saw that like on the court this year in the like minutes he played with Memphis, where he'll just go up to Devin Booker and start talking shit and like chirp constantly. My guy this year is Elijah Martin. I love Elijah Martin. He's an absolute bulldog on defense. Like this is a dude that was a legitimate, like real Division 1 football prospect, like as a quarterback that was like a dual threat quarterback, super physical, has that kind of frame, absolute freak athlete, and he uses it and he talks on the court. If you talk to the Florida staff, like look, they're well aware that like Walter Clayton was the best player on the team, but they will straight up tell you that like they do not win the title without Elijah Martin, in the way that just his mentality completely shifted their defensive capabilities. Elijah is my guy in this class like that.
Okay, final one, because we do have two Philadelphia guys, one a little bit higher in the first round conversation with Rasheer Fleming from St. Joe's, and then Eric Dixon from Villanova, who's a fifth-year senior and had a fantastic career, led the league, led the college basketball in scoring this year. Just your observations on those two with Fleming, if you could start there.
Yeah, so I wish I was a little bit higher on Rasheer than I ended up. Very theoretical player to me. People will look at the fact that he's enormous, like 6'9", 7'5" wingspan, and can shoot, and like is super athlete as well. And they think of him as like this wing. I almost think of him like, I think he's more of like a big. Like I think he's more like Bobby Portis than he is like, name big wing that you want to bring up in this like Trevor Ariza or something like that, right? Like he's more that to me, and he's valuable. Like I think he can be a valuable player for sure. I didn't love the feel for the game. I didn't love I felt like he was a consistent gambler on defense in a way that worried me. I'm probably one of the few that have him as like a second round grade as opposed to a first round grade. Seems like an awesome kid from everything I know intel wise. So like he's one of those kids where like you put him on the board and like you really hope that you're wrong, kind of like you just want that kid to succeed more than anything. And another guy that is like that is honestly Dixon for me too. Eric Dixon's like one of those people like I just would like to meet at some point. He seems like such an interesting, thoughtful human being. Like really into like art history and like really into, a whole lot of like really cool things. Yeah, he seems like an awesome dude. I just don't know how he survives on defense in the NBA.
Yeah.
Real shooter, obviously now. But like a lot of what they did beyond the shooting was even just like some weird post stuff. And that's just not going to fly at 6'5" or 6'6" at the next level. Right. Uh, if I thought he could survive on defense, I would have him quite a bit higher, but I see him as like a two-way guy. And, I think that he could be an interesting two-way guy for somebody.
All right, Sam, before we get you out of here, dust settles. We're on draft night. Sixers don't move anywhere. They're just sitting at 3. Who are you taking with that pick? And who are you taking? And who do you think the Sixers are taking with it could be the same, could be different.
Yeah. I'm torn personally between Khan and VJ for them. I think I would take Khan because I would want the slightly bigger player, given that McCain and Maxey seem like the two like real long-term building blocks here, right? We'll figure out what happens with Paul George. We'll figure out what's going on with Joel Embiid. But like, if I'm them, like I think I've got like two dudes here that are like there for the long term in Maxey and McCain. I would want the slightly bigger player, with all things like being equal. Obviously, Edgecombe and Khan are not in any way similar as basketball players, but they are certainly on my board like very similarly graded. And I think I would go with Khan over VJ at the end. It's very close though. I think that they would go VJ if you made me bet, because I think that you can sell yourself just slightly more on upside if you think that VJ is going to continue to improve at the rapid rate that he has over the course of the last like 4 years of his career. I think that they would sell, given like the Daryl Morey like upside swing, kind of mentality. I think they would sell themselves on VJ at number 3, and that's kind of been my opinion since like the week after the lottery. If they end up staying at 3, but I still think if you made me bet one way, I would say a trade down.
All right. Top 100 prospects, ranking, tiers, and analysis. That's the 2025 NBA Draft Guide from Sam Vecenie of The Athletic, senior writer for the NBA and the NBA Draft. Make sure you go sign up to become a member at The Athletic, subscribe, and when you do, you get a chance to take a peek at the draft guide, of course, and see where all of these players do fall, from Cooper Flagg to Rasheer Fleming, all the way down to Eric Dixon and so many more. Make sure you also check out his podcast, tremendous listen, and that is the Game Theory podcast as well. Sam Vecenie, thank you so much, man, for joining us, spending some time with us, a lot of time with us on this Friday, as we are less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. Can't wait to see how it all plays out and continue to follow your work as we do so. Thank you so much, man.